So some of you may remember, I've got the Retro Pi set up in the Sega Mega Drive case, and I picked up this Hyperkin controller like 3 months ago or so, and I've been using it ever since, and for the most part I like it, but the buttons are very stiff. They require a lot of force to press the buttons down. Otherwise it works okay, and I've been using it this whole time, but like a month later, Retrobit is kind of a competing company with Hyperkin when it comes to the, retro accessories and stuff lately. But this company Retrobit announced their Sega controllers, which are officially licensed by Sega, and they came out with like 6 different models, announced them all at once. I was in a local game store today. It's like a microplay. And they had these for $24.99, and that's Canadian, so that's about right. That's about the same price they are on Amazon, and so they had them in the store, basically at Amazon, this exact same price as Amazon. So I figured I'd pick it up, see how it compares to the Hyperkin. I needed a second Genesis style controller for this anyways. I only had one, and if anything, I think the buttons are going to be less stiff on this, but that's a guess. Again, this is officially licensed by Sega. So I don't know if that means anything as far as the quality goes, but I guess we'll find out. Well, it looks pretty similar. The black's a little bit blacker here in the glossy part, and it's kind of matte. Yeah, it's a little darker and a little glossier on the insides of here and up here. So it looks a little bit different. It's definitely not like the same plastic. That's got a sticker on the back that's molded in where it says Retrobit, copyright Sega. Obviously it says Sega there. That one says Hyperkin. The buttons are a little less stiff. The D-pad on this was fine. It's a little looser on this one as well, so it wasn't stiff on this compared to the buttons. The buttons really required a lot of force to press down, and the D-pad I felt was okay. Here the buttons are a little less stiff, and the D-pad is actually a fair bit less stiff. The D-pad feels just like a real Sega Genesis 6-button controller. The plastic's a little bit grippier. There's like a bit more of a matte texture on that. You can feel it on the sides of your hands when you're holding it. Feels a little bit grippier. So I don't know, first impressions are pretty good. I would say it's better than the Hyperkin controller. And I think I paid the same price for the Hyperkin controller. I bought that at Microplay also, so I bought that at the same store before these came out. Again, I bought that, and then like a month later, Retrobit announced those. I didn't see those in Microplay right away. I was actually in Microplay probably 2 weeks ago, and they didn't have them. And then I was in there today, and they did. So, I mean, obviously we're in Canada. Sometimes this stuff launches. It takes us a little bit longer to get it. But Microplay is usually pretty good at carrying this kind of stuff. So, and again, the price was right. The price was fair. Same price I paid for that Hyperkin one, and I would say it feels better so far. The cord's thicker. Yeah, the cord is definitely thicker. And I just noticed it's got like a filter choke on there. So cord's a little thicker. It's got the choke on there. Whether that's necessary or not probably doesn't do anything. Slightly thicker cord, and I think it's longer. It's a long cable. Does it say how long that cord is on here? 10-foot cable. I don't need a 10-foot cable. It's actually longer than I need. The Hyperkin one was fine. I'm gonna guess that's 6 foot, maybe 7. This one's definitely longer. So again, so far it looks good. We'll give it a test and we'll see how it runs. So everything seems to work fine except for the C button. The C button, you really have to press it in hard to get it to jump, or to get it to activate. D-pad feels great. D-pad works perfectly fine. But there's A to jump, there's B to jump, and there's C. You gotta press it really hard, so like if I press it and hold it in right now, press a little bit harder, and a little bit harder, and a little bit harder, and there it goes. So, I don't know if that's gonna work in, or if that's a return it and exchange it for another one. Because the A really doesn't take much effort. As soon as it pops in, it activates. And then same with B. And then C, I can press it in and nothing happens, and I gotta press, and press a lot harder. And only the C button seems to have that issue. So, been playing for a little bit longer. Hasn't gotten any better. Like I say, I think it's got to be a fluke. Everything else on this thing is awesome. All the other buttons are really responsive. That C button takes like 4 times the amount of force on it before it responds. So I'll return it, and I'll put in the description of the comments whether I get a second one and that fixes it. I think it will. The thing's just, everything else about it is too good. It can't be this bad. I looked it up on Amazon. It's got, in Canada, Amazon.ca, it's got like a 4.5 out of 5. Only 4 ratings, because it's pretty new to Canada. There's probably way more ratings on Amazon.com, but yeah, 2 people gave it like a 5 out of 5, and 2 people gave it a 4 out of 5. And no one mentioned the issue I'm having, so got to be a fluke. Also, the price was $29.99 on Amazon, and I got it for $24.99 in a store. So it's pretty awesome when you can get something in a store cheaper than Amazon, especially game shops, which, you know, people give game shops bad reps for overcharging, and this time it was cheaper than Amazon. So yeah, I'll return it, and I'll try another one, and if the other one works fine, it should be in the description or in the comments or something.